Hey tubes, haven't made a YouTube video in a while being a week or two. Today we're gonna work on the Junkyard truck. I got something I want to share with you. If I can get it off my phone, sometimes getting stuff off my phone is kind of iffy. If I can get the video off my phone, I can show you what I'm about to talk about. Hang on, let me get out of the wind here. Of course the wind starts blowing. So we did a carburetor swap on this a little while ago. Got it running, and now I've got it actually running pretty damn good compared to the whole EFI setup that it used to have. The problem I'm running into is I have to rig up a different throttle setup, and what I've actually been looking at doing, instead of fabricating a bracket out of stuff that I have, I was visiting family in Idaho over the weekend, and you know, every time I go out to Idaho, I visit two of their junkyards, Jalopy Pick Apart, which are my two favorite junkyards out there. They're massive yards, full of trucks and cars and SUVs. And I went out there, and first junkyard didn't have quite what I wanted. They had a 460 4-barrel throttle cable bracket, which I ended up taking anyways to put in my Horde. It didn't even cost me anything. They didn't charge me for the brackets. I guess if it's a small enough bracket, they don't charge. The second one I went to, which you'll see in the video clip, ended up finding a 2-barrel 302 throttle cable bracket and throttle cable that was in really good shape. Tubes, I'm at another jalopy jungle here in Idaho. I love these things. First Bullnose I look at, or actually second one, I looked at that one down there at the end. That was a straight 6. I'm like, this is got a 302 with a 2-barrel. Exactly what I have on the Junkyard truck. Except this one's got some nonsensical save the environment stuff, which never did anyway. So this has exactly the throttle bracket I need. I think it has the same manifold that I'm using. It looks like it. 2-barrel, and I'm taking the throttle cable. This one's in good shape. It's got a pretty good throw on it. I like that. Okay, flathead screwdriver. You can pop this out of its hole and then out, and then away she goes. This truck has the exact same style, aluminum frame, sliding back windows, my 82. I have 2 other throttle cables that I took. I'll throw in my Horde. I didn't pay for them. They didn't charge me for it. So I was like, oh, really? So look about this. If you got a bracket or something, they usually don't charge you because you've already paid the admission fee. And they're like, well, go ahead, take it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm glad I got this sunshade thing. Just keep the dash from getting trashed. It's not too hot in here. Let's roll this window down. We're going to be working on this thing. Let's see. I gotta do my hood mod and remove that spring. There's a spring that it keeps pressure on the emergency or the backup latch or the release, just so if it ever does, if you accidentally pop it, it doesn't fly open. Hey. So swapped out the EFI cable, which would have been here. Now we have the carbureted model. Dinks around, goes to our little bracket, and hooks up right up to our throttle. And this being for a 2-barrel carburetor, it has no problem going to wide open throttle. I was worried about that with the EFI cable because I noticed that it only moved like literally half as much as that, and it wouldn't put that carburetor to full throttle. Now it does. So it works really well. And the one thing doing all this fixed, I don't know what was up with that throttle body. Well, part of it has to do with that throttle valve cable for the transmission, but the throttle pedal is easier than my diesel truck. And the one thing that I talked about is, you know, this is an automatic with an AOD. I was going to make this work. I think we might be able to jimmy rig this to have it kind of work so we can test drive this thing. But I think I'm pretty much gonna leave everything like that, how I got it set up. Because I don't know if you guys know, I have an M5OD 5-speed. What's gonna go into it, and then we gotta get a transfer case. I'm trying to do an all-wheel drive setup, so because I only want to just have the 5-speed shifter sticking on the floor and nothing else. So this will be a full-time 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Got TTBA axles in here. Got new bushings already put in them. I didn't do a video on it, but we'll do a video on the I-beam to twin traction beam setup. But what I want to do is we need to get this back into the driveway. I'm going to give you a little lowdown of what's been going on with the rear of the truck. Since we are doing a 4-wheel drive conversion, I got to talk about the rear end. And then we need to put oil in it. I didn't get a chance to put oil in it, and I needed to move it so I could, well, I just wanted to get it out of the driveway so I can park my car here and not have it crapped on by the birds. Let me adjust my mirror so I can see. Oh, there's someone tailgating me. No, I'm just kidding. These mirrors, that's another thing that's gonna be getting changed eventually. Okay, so what are we doing? We need to back the truck into that spot where I can work kind of in the shade. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Now look at this. Watch this. Oh, I already had it. See, that works. Come on, baby. Might hear a little clinkety, crunchity, crunkety. Yeah, I can hear a little bit of the... You know, I did not even bleed the brakes out on this thing. You hear that? That noise. We're a little low on oil. Low as in out. Let's get under here together and discuss what we got going on. So, when I got those front TTB axles, well, actually, I primarily went and picked this 8.8 up, which had the sway bar and everything, e-brake cables and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's ready to go. And as you saw, we opened it up, and we had, you know, maybe needed some wheel cylinders, and the oil and everything wasn't too bad. And it was dirty, but it wasn't too bad, and the gears looked really good inside. So what we'll do is we're pretty much just gonna seal that cover up, throw some oil in, and, you know, call that a day. I'm not gonna do anything with the differential. We're not gonna change gears. We're not gonna put podsy traction or anything. We're gonna leave it open. Anyways, so this is from a Bronco, an 89 Bronco. It does have the speed sensor on the top, which I'm not using. We probably could use it for something if we wanted to. Got the sway bar and everything bolted up. I just bolted on the side of the frame like it would have been on the factory setup. So this has a rear sway bar now. And when we do the front, we'll have a sway bar there as well. So this will have front and rear sway bars. We got air shocks in the back here. I have that so because I put some heavy stuff back here. The front will just be normal coil spring. I won't do anything fancy there. But anyways, this has got an 8.8 back under it. It's a newer one. And I did spend some time kind of buffing and polishing this. That front fender, I kind of screwed up a little bit. It's got clear coat on it. So I'm going to have to work on that one. I actually get a proper buffer to do what I want to do. But I did go through and kind of buff it out. You know, we kind of cleaned up the wheels and stuff. It looks pretty nice now. Even though it's got some gnarly bed stuff going on here, but it's all character stuff. I tried making a video on fixing this, but it didn't work right and the thing fell off, and I'm not really happy with it, so I'm gonna have to peel this tape off here and do something different. I'm thinking I might actually super glue this thing on. Get a nice plastic super glue. Yeah. But anyways, I gotta stop yabbing. I'm probably gonna edit most of this out anyways. Get the truck set up, and then we'll start working on get that rear end sealed up and put some oil in it. This has already got the oil out of it. Well, if it had the oil in it, this wouldn't be a problem, would it? We'll leave all but one screw, or we'll take all but one screw out. But I wiped everything out really good. I used this. This is where these cordless jobs are, you know, come in handy for this kind of stuff. Especially these Harbor Freight ones are kind of wimpy a little bit, so if you put any kind of load on them, they kick off. But this one we've been using for wire wheel and stuff. And it's been working out really well, and I use it to clean this up. Gets all the RTV off, just takes it right off. And I did the same to the axle housing, wiped everything down, I got all the dirt and whatnot out. So, yeah, we got the Ultra Black Maximum Oil Resistance. This is what I usually get for this stuff. Like I said, I usually like to get a gasket for these, but I didn't have one. I didn't think about ordering one. And I want one. I need to seal this today so I can get oil in it, so if I do drive it around, it's got oil in it. But the front axle, I know that a while ago when I did my solid axle swap on my F-150 around the corner, you know, people wanted to see that swap, and I would repost it, but there was some conflict of interest, so I took them down. Well, not necessarily conflict of interest, I just didn't want them up anymore because of where it was filmed. But anyways, this might have been a little too much, but smeared around. But on this truck, we're going to do the twin I-beam to twin traction beam swap. And that we can do here because we're really just replacing Lego parts with more Lego parts. You know, you just bolt it together and go. I'm not too worried about if this gets, you know, squished out and loose inside the case of the axle. It's just silicone. It'll grind it up. And there's nothing to plug up in there with this stuff. Transmissions and engines are a different story. We'll just goober this up a little bit here, even it out. Let it tack up a tiny bit. Got to take care of one thing. Oh, that fan feels so good. Got my little box fan blowing. My drum fan finally crapped out. I don't feel like fixing it. I'm just gonna get a new fan. This is a brand new bottle. I think I only put 3 quarts in on the diesel 8.8. We're just gonna fill this until it starts running out into our pan. And because it's about 80 degrees out. Oh yeah. This stuff flows like water. I got oil in it. Wasn't making wasn't making that noise because of something else, or because it was out of oil. Because it still had a little bit in there, and the gears were kind of wet. But I'm still getting that noise, that little crinkety crunchy. I don't know if it's the brakes, but I'm almost thinking. Oh, you guys can't see me at all. What I'm thinking is it might need wheel bearings back there. If we gotta put them in, they're cheap. I can order them and do them. I'm thinking that's probably it. I'm just hoping it doesn't need axle shafts, because man, I'd gotta buy axle shafts again. Yeah, so let's put you along for the ride. I'm not putting you on the dash, it's too hot. We'll put our seatbelt on because we weren't wearing it in the first place. I can't really, yeah, anyways. Let's see, we'll start. It's a little, the noise is weird. Oh, she's a little touchy. I think it's it's got some accelerator pump adjustments it needs. That's pretty scary, Tubes. Transmission still shifts. Huh. Remember when I cut the muffler off? Yeah, the muffler's banging up against the drive shaft. Yeah, that tarp is kind of wanting to fly away. It shifts on me. I need more fuel pressure, I think. We're kind of... We're in the tuning stages. And because there's no kickdown cable, the transmission holds its shifts a little bit longer. There it goes. I put $35 in. Took about 12 gallons. The gauge is a little off. Vibrate as much, and I took all the wheel weights off. Man, this thing is nice. We got a rear sway bar, we got air shocks. Driving a lot nicer, and it's so comfortable. Kickdown's not there, but it's not shifting into overdrive all of a sudden. I noticed it's been doing that before all of this. It'll run in third gear, sometimes it'll go to overdrive. I wonder if it's low on fluid. And I put it in drive, and it didn't like it. It went right out of gear. So, yeah, we're 5-speed swapping this. I don't really care. I'm not bothered by that. I'll probably scrap this transmission. Sell it for 50 bucks as a core or something, I don't know. I might sell it as a core. Go 45 at 3 grand, usually it's 2 grand. And when it was in overdrive and I barely gave it some gas, it was just slipping like crazy. And that's probably because I don't have the throttle valve hooked up. Because that does control line pressure, so that's probably why it was doing that. This truck is really nice. It's smooth. I took all the wheel weights off because I was polishing the wheels, and I don't have a wheel shake anymore. But yeah, it rides really comfortable. It's smooth. It's like a freaking Cadillac or something. Brakes, I haven't bled the brakes on. I've done 2 axle swaps on this. I swapped the 9-inch in just to get something under it, and And then I swapped this Bronco 8.8 in, and the brakes were better when I put the 8.8 in, strangely enough. But yeah, they need to be bled out. I probably won't waste my brake fluid until I put new wheel cylinders in the 8.8. And when we do the TTB swap, so we'll do all that at a later time. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. It's running good. It does have power. It's just the transmission shifts too early. That bogs it down. And I've said it a million times, I need to up my fuel pressure a little bit. A couple more PSI and we should be good to go. But I am done for the day. I gotta go park this thing and I gotta get ready for work. Actually, I need to eat something and go to work. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.